All right, guys, let's begin. So, guys, for the people that don't know Dave Savage, in my opinion, is the closest that we have to a celebrity in this in our industry. He's been around for so long. It's true, man. You're all over the place. The way that you serve the community, the way that your energy and your passion to help the loan officer. I have so much respect for what you do, Dave. I have so much respect for your technology, and I feel so honored that you be on our motivation call this morning. What we do on Mondays is we really try to create an atmosphere for the loan officer to get fired up to go attack their week, so that they're fired up, that they know exactly what to do, and that they go get it. So we're super happy to have you here today, Dave. Why don't we give a little context really quickly? How long have you been in the business? And when did you start? And then why did you get in? And then we'll start going from there.
Well, it's been a long time. I started in I can't remember the exact month. Go check it out on LinkedIn in '87. And
wow.
I thought like I missed the big rates had just been down. People had bought houses. I think rates were like 11.75.
Nice.
And we were still doing 1003s with computers. With typewriters.
Wow, man. So you've seen all kinds of markets. You've seen the lowering rate environments that came down all the way through that. But then you also saw the early 90s when the rates started to trend back up. You also saw the early 2000s, obviously, when it trended up. So right now, Dave, we're starting to see where, since I've been coaching, now I've been in the business for 20 years, so I've seen a lot of these blips. But since I've been coaching, it's really the first time where I've seen the fear enter into the marketplace again with the rising rates. So when you look out right now, what are the opportunities that you see in the environment that we're in right now?
Well, I just always kind of subscribe to this philosophy that the harder the business gets, the more challenging, whether it's low rates, price compression, low inventory, it does create an opportunity for the apex player, the person, and I think everybody kind of earns whoever they see themselves. If you see yourself as a 1%er, you're going to be a 1%er. If you see yourself as a top 10%er, you're going to be a top 10%er. If you see yourself as mid-tier, you're going to be mid-tier. And so I do think, that there are things that are happening in the industry right now where if you are not being super smart with technology, and if you are not, call it, being a modern mortgage professional, that you are running the mortgage race uphill with the wind at your face. And it's, you should be scared. If you are using technology and modern media and doing the right things, I think you should be super pumped. I think this industry in some ways may get easier and better than it's ever been before. I'm an optimist. By nature, I am an optimist.
Yeah, but you've been through it. You've been in the business for over 30 years, so you've seen it, right? You've seen all these blips in the market right now. I'll tell you, my story always is, I didn't know it at the time, but 2008 was the best year for me ever because of market share. And I try to tell that to my clients all the time is, you mentioned it, it starts with mindset. And if you have the mindset of an A player, if you have the mindset of a 1%, and you have the mindset of, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get through these times, that is not what the majority of the loan officers will do in these markets. And all of a sudden you'll get to a year down the road and 2 years down the road, and you'll see that your competition has gone away. I don't know if you've seen this, but Fannie and Freddie are estimating that we're going to originate 1.7 trillion this year and 1.7 trillion next year. That's better than 6 out of the last 10 years. So when I look at it, I get like, man, this is an awesome market. This is a professionals market. This is when you lick your chops right now and really go get it. What would you say to that?
I'm with you, man. I think it's a really good time to be in this space. I do think it is there is a difference in the market right now, that consumer behavior has changed. The way technology can be leveraged by big companies is different. You look at, what's happening with Uber, you look what's happening with Amazon, you look at what's happening, with Facebook, and it is changing. But I do think that and I like to just categorize it, the local mortgage advisor.
Love it.
They have these tools, they have this technology. So I don't know. I think we are going to see the number of loan officers that are either not succeeding, like the gap between the low class and the middle class of the mortgage industry is going to widen.
Yep.
And, the people at the top are going to kill it and have more fun, make more money than ever. And the people at the bottom are not. It's not going to be a good situation, I don't believe.
I totally agree with that, man. And guys, tomorrow I'm going to be on Dave Savage's show, and I spent a lot of time over the last 2 weeks really doing a lot of research on the market and doing studies on the market. So I'm going to release a lot of that data. So guys, please get onto that call tomorrow as well. Dave, one of the things, Harvard just released a study that I ran into, and it said, this is what it said in there, is in the future, 85% of humans are going to choose to make high value purchases based on the human customer experience. So even as artificial intelligence becomes embedded in everyday interaction over the next 10 years, this is quoting their study, human conversation will remain the primary way that people make complex purchases or emotional decisions. And so when I look at that, I say, man, you're absolutely right. Technology is a huge part of the puzzle to connect you quicker and easier with customers, but you are going to be in demand more than ever before because there is so much fear around technology. What do you think about that, Dave?
Totally agree. And not just fear, but there's, like I don't know if anybody knows Linda McKinley with Fairway. And, she's just been this, top producing loan officer. I can't remember what city she lives in Colorado, but, just call it a small mountain town. And she's always just killed it. And she's, saying, hey, I'm having some of the biggest challenges ever, but she's really upgrading her technology game. Mm-hmm. And, like she didn't know that you could log into the Mortgage Coach app on her mobile device. And even, when she was using it, because I saw her at the airport and I was helping her out with the technology.
Oh, cool.
I can hold my finger down on a field and move she just didn't know how to use the tool like she did. Right. And I think it's not just fear, it's learning how to use technology in a very efficient way. And if anybody hears about this, let me know, but I would love for someone to create like how to use mobile technology, like a mobile technology boot camp, so that, people can upgrade how they, lots of traditional loan officers don't even use Google very well. So
that's one of our whys, by the way, right there. That's what we try to do with our clients, right? Like that's our whole.
Well, maybe you're the one doing it. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're creating this, modern mortgage professional boot camp to elevate everybody's game. But people got to do it. And it's not just fear. It is skill-based training. It's like learning how to do things differently.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the way that I experience is that when you're learning something new, you're uncomfortable, right? So, and when you're uncomfortable, that doesn't feel good. And people say, oh, that doesn't feel good to learn new things. And it's actually the opposite, because everything that you want is on the other side of that, the cliche getting outside of your comfort zone. But learning new stuff isn't comfortable. At least it wasn't for me. So that's what I kind of see in this market here too. So when you look out like right now, so in a raising rate environment, let's just talk some nuts and bolts really quickly for maybe some new people, or just to give a refresher for people that have been around for some. What are the opportunities that you see? Some of the opportunities that I see is, hey, look, HELOCs are going up really quickly right now at a big pace, and there's a lot of people that have first and seconds right now, and as even if they have a 3.625 30-year, if they now are at 7.5 on their HELOC and their HELOC's $200,000, there is a huge need right now for consolidation. That's how you can use some of these rising rates in your advantage. The other things that I see right now, move-up buyers. I ran this morning around my neighborhood. Every single house is under contract right now, which means we're going to have appreciation. Fannie and Freddie are predicting 7% this year, 7% next year right now. Appreciation creates equity. Guys, this is nothing like 2008. This is an amazing market right now. Dave, what other opportunities do you see right now, like on a tactical level that people could really go after?
Well, I mean, I'm going to just focus on two, because I just don't think the industry has done a great job of it. And I don't even think if like most loan officers go, have I really educated my past customer database and all the realtors that I serve, let's just say the people I have influence with. And then remember, if you believe in using Facebook, which I think your crew does, I'm the digital mayor of the market I serve. Have I created content that does two things? And one of those is first-time home buyers. Have you really killed it in saying that, you know what, I will help you, and every family member you have and everybody you know, understand for that person individually, owning versus renting. You know, I just don't think, maybe you did, 2 months ago you did a message on it, but I just don't think our industry has done a great job of just, first time home buyers, check it out. And then to your point, the move up, the cost of waiting, the concept that, you know what, rates are probably going up, values in every market are probably going up. And have you really educated your database, your realtors, you're the digital mayor, the market that you serve? Do they really know the cost of waiting? And by the way, do they know that you are a unique resource like no other loan officer, like no other professional at netting that out for them? And the answer is probably not. There's a lot of opportunity there. And then I'll just say one last thing and turn it back to you, and especially your database. Like, I think if you want to have a long career as a local referral-based mortgage professional, not working for a call center, not being a staffer on a team, if you want to kill it, your database is gold, and you need to do a great job of educating them. And that doesn't mean just like, oh, they're on my CRM mailing list and they're getting this generic content. Check, I did it. No, that means you're really educating them. Huge opportunity.
Man,
Sorry about the rant there.
I love that. I mean, that was an awesome rant. Dude, I love that. Man, I so appreciate that. One point on what Dave said that was magical is that owning versus renting. Jill Satterfield asked us a question last week. She said, hey, you know what do I do with all my realtors that are panicking right now? And guys, let me ask you this question really quickly. Again, in the same Harvard study that I read yesterday, they released what the average college graduate will make in 2018. Take a second and guess what that. So the average college graduate in 2018, guess what their average salary is right now. Take a second and think through this. Dan says 28,000. Yeah, put in the chat box. Let me see what you think. The average college graduate in 2018.
So far, all under 50.
There was a 65 in there. There was a 50.
Yeah, well, all under 50, anywhere from 35 to 55. So
it's $50,000. Now, one of the other big trends that we've seen in the last 30 years, even in Dave, in your lifespan, really in terms of the mortgage industry, is the rise of the two-income family. So it's not 50,000 that people are going to be qualifying for on that first-time home buyer. It's going to be 100,000 that they're qualifying for. That easily gets us into that $350,000 to $400,000 range, even in these big markets right now, into townhomes right now. So guys, these are the kind of things in these markets, is to be the good news brigade. Really watch your head. Be the good news brigade to your referral sources, to your network, as Dave says, not the bad news brigade. Oh my gosh, what is it? All that stuff. So Dave, that was awesome. Let's rip through a couple fun things right now to see if we can knock something loose. What is the book that you've given the most as a gift, and why? We're going to rapid fire for 3 minutes.
Well, I've given Extreme Ownership. I've given out the most in the past 2 years.
Awesome book.
And because Extreme Ownership,
yeah,
own it. By the way, while I have read the book, I recommend the audiobook because it's Jocko Willink.
Is it Jocko doing it in the audio?
Yeah, Jocko and Leif are doing it. And so it's history, it's war stories, and then they tie it into, how can you be a better person? How can you be a better dad? How can you be a better leader at your company? So that's my number one book for the past 2 years.
It's an amazing
I've read it
book.
a lot and given it out a lot.
I've read it. I've never done the audio, but now I'm going to do the audio.
The audio is ridiculous.
I've never, I read it. I haven't done that, but now I'm going to do the audio. So it's Extreme Ownership, guys, by Jocko Willink. It's an amazing book.
Yeah, my number 2 book that I'm listening to now for the second time is Crushing It, by Gary Vee. I think it's pretty badass.
I go through all these. I go through so many different trends. I've got my bookshelf up here, and then I just pick books and send them to people. Right now, guys, I'm into Slight Edge. I think it's an amazing book. I don't know if you've ever run that book, Dave.
No, I haven't. I'll have to get it.
It is awesome. It's basically, I love Darren Hardy, but it's basically Compound Effect on steroids. It goes
Cool.
really into depth on that stuff. So that's the one that I'm giving out right now, guys. Okay. Dave, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten? Or it can be any quotes you think of often or you live your life by.
Oh my gosh. So many. Well, the one I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I'm not going to say it right, but I'll just say it how I think about it a lot lately. It's not what you say, it's what people hear, and I just think sometimes I said that, I told you that, didn't you hear me? And so I've been just really thinking a lot about that quote. I've used it with my kids lately. I've said it to myself a lot. I've said it to people I work with. Anyways, that's a quote that I don't know if it's the best advice I ever got. I think work ethic, if I had to what's my superpower, it's my work ethic. But that's something I think about a lot right now.
No doubt. Guys, for me, it's no matter how you feel, do the next right thing. It changed my life. I had a mentor in my life at one point, and he really impacted to me. He said, hey, listen, you're not going to feel like doing things all the time, but don't judge your actions by if you feel like doing it or not. No matter how you feel, always do the next right thing. And that changed my life for me. And so that's mine.
Well, wait, I want to play off that real quick because this is another quote I think I posted on Facebook. It's something to say like self-esteem is knowing that you're super flawed, but still loving yourself and are still respecting yourself. And I know for me, it's kind of like I'm either always doing the right thing or I work so hard that even though I have all these flaws and things that I don't do and, miss things that I still wake up pumped and I'm pumped, because I'm doing the right thing and I'm working so hard. So I like that, Derek.
That's so cool, man. That leads right into my next question. Perfect segue. So the next one is failure sets us up for later success. Dave, do you have a favorite failure of your past and why?
Well, I don't have a favorite failure. But my biggest failure as a businessman was in 2000 when there was a 125 bomb, First Plus went out of business.
Yes.
I, had what was called the Savage Team. I had built a big company, had 100, salespeople, and I did not face reality. And I was like, hey, the tough gets going, or whatever that quote is. And I did not face reality well. I lost a lot of money, became humbled as a businessman. And so that was a big failure. Didn't like it. But facing reality. By the way, another really good book right now is Principles by Ray Dalio.
I'm reading that one too, right? That's on my nightstand right now, man.
Yeah, I'm into that right now. But face reality.
Yeah.
But that was my big failure.
So mine, a lot of our guys here have heard my story, but my biggest failure, you might not have heard it before. I'm not kidding, dude. The first time I did a presentation for this business 3 years ago, I literally did the presentation with my shirt off, and I was unaware of that. I was so nervous to do the first presentation. You've seen my presentation. It was recorded on video, right? So this company, I don't want to say the name. It's Eric Manatelli knows it. This company had me come and do a presentation on Zoom. And I went and ran the day before, or right before it, and my shirt had soaked through. So I started off the presentation with these big pit marks, right, all over me. And so I play the video on there. I get the bright idea because I'm working at home that I'll take my shirt off and go put it in the dryer, and then in 20 minutes it'll be fine. And so, dude, I go put it in, and I didn't know technology enough. This is why I have such a heart for our clients. I didn't know technology enough, and I came back in front of it. I'm not kidding, dude. And it was like right now, and I had shorts on, so it's like you could see my legs and no shirt. They literally for 3 minutes thought I was naked on camera, and I'm sitting there just kind of talking to them. So that was good, mine.
That's good, bro.
For my faith, it was one of those like God moments. Yeah, it was one of those God moments for me to have like, wow, you know what? Clients, you can't screw up worse than I did on my first time on technology.
I can't even think of a story that good that showed up without my shirt on.
So you mentioned your tireless work ethic. What else, man? What's the habit in your life that's improved your life the most?
Well, I mean, the quote that I always have, my kids know me for, is I'm just always Always grateful and always curious.
Love it.
I mean, those are, and I don't know how much of that's just genes, things that I got at birth, because I think I've always done that. Although there's some intentional things that I do to keep it bright. And the older I get, like the more I have to, some people get bitter, some people get better. And I always try to stay in that better part, but, curiosity and gratefulness are, two things that they're natural gifts, and two, I work on a lot.
Guys, I see this all the time with top performers like Dave. It is, honestly, I think it's one of the commonalities when you say, what are one of the success things? I'm sure, Dave, you interview with hundreds of successful people. I bet you run into that a lot too, because that was going to be mine. It's my morning ritual. I run downstairs. I have a different room over there that I go into, and I write down what are the 3 things I'm grateful for right now. And then the other one that I do is I write right then, I say, what will winning my day look like today? And that's really been my mantra. Then after that is, what do I need to do to win today? And win today, I tell our clients this all the time. You win today, and you win 4 out of 7 days a week, because sometimes you're not going to win. And you win 3 out of 4, you win your month, you win 9 out of 12, you win your year, and you start winning your years, you start winning your life. But it all starts with winning that day. And so that's mine right there too.
The only thing I would add tactically is I'm pretty intentional about my morning, and doing things that get me in the right headspace, and doing things that matter most. What's the one thing that matters most? But I also really feel passionately about bookending my day. And I'm not one of those guys that like, I spent 30 minutes and everything I have to do tomorrow. So I've never been able to do that. But I do look at my calendar before I go to bed. If I have to present, I have a big presentation, I kind of go through it so it's in my head. And I'm pretty, let's just say there's 10 minutes of intentionality at the end of every day that I think sets me up for the day to come or the week to come.
Well, you're definitely somebody to model after, man. Whenever I run into anybody, we always remark on your enthusiasm and your passion, your excitement, and your consistency that you've done too. So, man, it's very, very honored to have you on here. Let's transition into Mortgage Coach right now, Dave. Guys, I believe, as you know from us, that technology is the way of the future, and to not be scared of technology, to use technology to strengthen, create, and deepen relationships. And that is a key distinction right now. Rather than technology creating chasms between us, use technology to create, strengthen, and deepen relationships. I'm not sure in the coming 3 to 5 years how you can survive without something like the Mortgage Coach that really gives you a definable, trusted advisor. The way it's your positioning, it's the way that your target market is, it's your niche. So Dave, what would you say to that? What do you think about that?
Well, obviously I think that I agree with that, brother.
Oh, cool.
So I totally agree with that. I was going to show a couple things on my screen, but I don't know if it's working.
I'm seeing your screen right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So I mean, I definitely believe in this concept that the modern mortgage professional has to be a better communicator, multi-channel communicator. And you need to use their CRM like no tomorrow, super wisely. Doesn't need to be complex, but multi-channel communication. And then, Mortgage Coach, I just believe that if you want to differentiate yourself as a local professional, you need to deliver something more than price. Delivering the fee worksheet is not, differentiated experience. It's not a multi-channel experience. And so, I'm just going to show 1 or 2 more slides and then go back into mode. But this concept of someone, whether you're trying to make the case for owning versus renting, you're trying to make the case for moving up, you need to put graphs and charts around it. You need to give families the opportunity to self-educate, so that when they're not with you, this is a first-time home buyer kind of netting out owning versus renting in a Pete's coffee shop. I mean, I just think that that's what you need to do. And that's, again, what Mortgage Coach does is really help you be a better local advisor to the families that you serve. So every time you quote rates and fees, which is your service, I mean, I know closing the loan and keeping your promise is a service, but really at the point of sale, it's just helping them make a better mortgage decision, So anyways, couple pictures to help make the case, make the point. But I really think, today's loan officers need to, if you want to be the loan officer running downhill with the wind at your back and not the loan officer running uphill with the wind at your face, you need to use your CRM. You need to use Mortgage Coach. And then, there's a lot of point of sale technologies coming out, whether it's Blend, Simple Nexus. You need to become one with that stuff. It's really not an option, or you're just not going to be as successful as you could be and should be.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. So, Dave, how would if somebody's sitting on the fence right now, or they don't know you, or they want to get re-engaged, how would they get, either a demo or get in touch with you, or how would somebody sign up for Mortgage Coach?
So first, just reach out to me. We'll keep it pretty simple. I'm Dave at Mortgage Coach. And I think I made the same offer last time, is that anybody that emails me, Dave at Mortgage Coach, I would, hook you up with someone on my team, and we would provide you with the first month of Mortgage Coach, or we'd add a month for free to Mortgage Coach. So, if you aren't using it and you want to use it, email me, Dave at Mortgage Coach. Say, that Derek is your coach, and I'll hook you up.
Wow, man, I really appreciate that. Guys, this is a fantastic technology. The feedback that I get on it is amazing. I used to run around. I know I've told you this, Dave. I used to run around and create an Excel spreadsheet. I didn't know this existed because I started as a broker, right? And I was pretty insulated. And I didn't know it existed. And I wish I did, because I created an Excel spreadsheet for every single borrower. Like the amount of time, I'm not kidding. I'm like, I can't believe that I used to do that. So guys, I love that this is already done for you, and it's done in such a visually pleasing way. And so I can't endorse it more. And I really do believe that in the future that this is one of the big things that's going to separate you. Well, cool. Guys, I also want to mention that tomorrow at noon EST, I'm going to be on Dave's show. I'm going to go into depth a lot more on some of the stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go into depth a lot more on some of the stuff that I talked about. I've done a bunch of research, and I'm going to bring data about why that I think that this is an amazing market. Dave said it well, too. And I'll give you a clue. I don't know if you picked it up, but he started with mindset. And Dave, we talk about mindset all the time in here. Said if you think of yourself as a 1%er, you're going to win. If you think of yourself as a 10%er, you'll be in the 10%er. If you think of yourself as average, you might not make it through this market right now. So start with your mind, guys. And I'm going to be on there tomorrow. Dave, I cannot thank you enough for being with you. And I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to give it back to you.
And so two things. So, you want to go ahead and finish and then give it back?
Yeah, just let me finish, and I'm going to let you end
it.
And so, guys, we're going to be on there tomorrow at noon. Invite anybody on there to be on there. I'm going to rip it out right now, because I am super passionate about that. This is the time right now that the A players, that the professionals, this is a professionals market. And I'm so excited for you guys on there. Dave, let's go to you. You are going to take us home.
Okay. So two things. So one, whether you're a member or not, you can come to our Tuesday interview, especially with Derek here. So I put a post on Facebook and LinkedIn, and also we have an events page on our website that you can always sign up for our events. Excuse me. Also, we have a private Facebook group for mortgage professionals called Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind. Great people. You guys are all invited to connect. Just do a search for Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind, and I'll approve you to get in there. And there's a lot of good dialogue in there. And then my last point is I put a lot of time and energy into a recent LinkedIn post called the Lead Conversion Playbook. I'm not going to do a huge commercial on it, other than to say I do think it's the most comprehensive playbook of best practices and scripts when it comes to lead conversion, and I recommend you check it out. It's an article in LinkedIn under my profile, Dave Savage, the Lead Conversion Playbook. And my last thing is, if you think I am missing something, let me know what it is, because I've literally updated it 3 times since I initially released it. I've added 2 strategies, and I've corrected some things based off of feedback from the community. So if you guys have something that you think it's missing, email me, Dave at Mortgage Coach, and it's an evolving playbook. So Derek, it's an honor, bro. I really appreciate it. It's cool to see how much your community has grown. You are absolutely, one of the premier coaches and community leaders in the industry. And, it really is an honor to be part of this whole crew.
Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate your kind words, and we appreciate you guys. Dave is absolutely telling the truth right here too. He's very, very accessible too. So shoot him an email. Do what he says right here. We'll see you guys tomorrow on that. You guys have a fantastic week. Okay, go crush this, because you guys are the ones that are going to win in this market. Okay, get excited about this market. You're going to win. You're going to pick up market share, and this is the best time to be a mortgage professional. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon.